Just before we start this episode, I just want to point out we had some real technical issues on this episode, more on the video than on the dialogue. But anyway, we struggled through. We thank you for your patience. All right, on with the show. Come on. There we go. Back in the room.
Back in the room. So yeah, Marty, I just want to say, you, mate, are killing it in the kitchen at the moment. What the hell?
Oh,
Things are coming up on TikTok. Lobster,
yeah.
some crazy stuff. What amazing.
That's just normal. That's just a normal week.
Is there something you can't do? Is there like a dish
yes. Oh, a dish. I don't know. I think there's no dish I wouldn't attempt, but then I wouldn't necessarily say that it was any good. I mean, but doesn't your partner? She's a proper chef, right? Well, not like me, just a rank amateur.
She made ramen this week. It was amazing. It's like a whole day of cooking. You think ramen was just like easy. It's just like a broth, throw some stuff in it. It's not, and it's good.
And it's good. Wow.
It's good. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. I know my way around a spoon.
What do you like with a wok? Are you good with a wok?
Yes.
Are you? They're quite tricky.
Yeah, I cook with a wok as well.
Nice. All right. Okay.
Yeah, just keep the heat high. Fucking go for it. All right. And with that tasty intro, welcome to ADHDville.
Tasty intro. Martin in the kitchen, killing it. Okay. Hello, I'm Paul Thompson. I was diagnosed with the combined AD and the HD, ADH and the D 9 months ago, almost 10 even.
Blimey. And I was diagnosed with the combined poo-poo platter in 2013, a while ago.
So I just want to, it's important to say that let's start again. Okay, get all excited. So we're just two mates who, by coincidence or not, after almost 40 years of friendship, discovered that we're co-ADHDers. Hurrah!
Shit.
So it's important to say that this is an entertainment course. Of course it is. About adult ADHD and does not substitute for individualized advice from qualified health professionals. So don't take any advice from us. We're just here as a kind of all-inclusive ADHD park bench with room for your body doubles, your chaperones, and even your best buddies. Still here? Great. Grab your jetpacks, your pedalos, space hoppers, or any other transport to ADHDville, an imaginary town we're creating in our minds, where we like to explore different parts of
ADHD. Yeah, and we start off as always here in the town hall, where we, the joint mayors of ADHDville, take care of business. I'm not going to hesitate because Paul's mic is cutting in and out, but I'm going to soldier on anyway. We're going to soldier on anyway. Because
okay.
we're just going to see how far we get. That's how we're going to roll.
Wing it. We're going to wing it.
We are going to freaking win it. And I've got two things on the agenda today. We're going to talk about emotional dysregulation, right? And then and then after that, it is a big one. And then we've got something else. I don't have my my show notes in front of me because when we did the whole technical restart thing, I forgot to pull up the whole script. But I believe after that we are doing a new thing, which is honoring special people of ADHDville. So if you listen to this podcast and you interact with us, maybe that person will be you. keep listening, and we'll and we should do like an honor, a honorary celebration thing at the end.
Mentions.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's time to jump in the car,
Okay.
mate. Let's
Okay.
just jump in the
Okay.
car.
So
Where are
emotional
we going?
dysregulation. Where, should we go to the spa?
Oh yeah, because dysregulation.
Yeah.
Let's just
If
try
you're going
and
to be
keep things chill.
dysregulated, you may as well be submerged in a jacuzzi or something.
Let's go.
Just go.
Ah, I can feel those cucumber slices on my eyes right now.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Other fruits are available. So yeah, emotional dysregulation is a big one. One person actually called it emotional incontinence. So
All right.
take that how you will.
Yeah.
But it's come up as like it's a big one, Martin. It's a
Mm-hmm.
big one, right? Um, it didn't really come up. It didn't really pop into my kind of like radar sphere of ADHD until quite recently. I kind of like strayed onto it. Like, oh, emotional deregulation. Could be a couple of times just wasn't in the mood, you know.
Wasn't in the mood for it.
no, no, I think I watched something stupid instead. Like Canadians making
Exactly.
log cabins. You know,
Hmm.
turns out there's probably a good reason why I didn't go into it because it is quite a for me it's one of the trickiest parts of my ADHD. Okay, but before we get into like maybe personal examples, Martin,
Mm-hmm.
we've got something as well. I've got like a definition here
Okay.
that I can read out. The inability flexibly to respond to and manage emotional states, resulting in intense, prolonged emotional reactions that deviate from social norms.
Yep.
Norms, hello, norm.
That'll do.
Given the nature of the given the nature of the environment stimuli encountered, such reactions not only deviate from accepted social norms, is norm again, but also surpass what is normally deemed appropriate or proportional to the encountered stimuli. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Internalized behaviors. So they've like categorized it under two categories: internalized and externalized. Okay. Just to run down a list. Internalized behaviors um, could be exhibiting emotions too intense for a situation, difficulty calming down when upset, difficulty decreasing negative emotions, being less able to calm themselves, difficulty understanding emotional experiences. I've highlighted that and I can't remember why. Anyway, becoming avoidant. Oh, it's a big one. Becoming avoidant. Okay. Or I've highlighted that as well. Or aggressive when dealing with negative emotions. And the last one on that list, suppressing a reaction, is sometimes more about how to respond, and less about the actual situation itself. Okay.
Hmm.
Externalizing. Okay.
Oh, blimey.
Another little
Okay.
list. Excited. Difficulty identifying emotional cues.
Emotional cues. All right.
Difficulty recognizing negative. Difficulty controlling their attention, being impulsive. Difficulty decreasing their negative emotions. Difficulty calming down when upset. Because that's a big one for me.
What's that? Can you repeat that one? Because that one.
Flight.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. So yeah, this is the thing, right? This is where you can find yourself going from like 0 to 100.
Yep.
Over small things. And that could be like, and that can show up all kinds of places, like at work. Like if
Mm.
uh, you can end up being difficult to work with.
Yeah.
You know, like if you just kind of like get um angry at work, that's just,
Yeah.
that can be fatal. And then in your personal life, I think that's where it kind of tends to show up more, right? You know, like, you know,
Hmm.
because your partner can leave this toilet seat up, or the
Yeah.
stack the dishwasher the wrong way, or whatever, or
Right.
they
Tick.
slurp their food, and then all of a sudden you're like, ah!
Yeah.
You just
Eating with
lose
your
your
mouth
shit.
open.
Right.
Well, but also it doesn't necessarily emotional dysregulation or the kind of how it outwardly shows up doesn't always have to be anger. It could be suppression, which is just as bad because in the end, I think
Oh, I know.
sometimes dudes are like it's masking, isn't it? You're like, oh, I think I better shut myself down, you know. Which
Right.
it could be
I
equally
think
perplexing to other people. It's like, oh, where did Paul go? You know, it's like he's shut down.
right, because the typical thing with emotional dysregulation is that you get angry, right? Um,
Yeah.
that, but I guess you can also be upset. So it's like any sort of emotional outburst.
Mm.
But I mean, but when it comes to anger, and especially because I've got like a narcissist parent,
Hmm.
it meant that they that my parents, both of them, were not emotionally intelligent people, right? So they would
Right.
shut down any emotional outburst from me, because I can remember being angry and difficult as a kid, or at least that's what I was told. So I feel like what happened was that my parents just kind of squashed that, and then and what happens was that anger or that emotional dysregulation just went inside, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all those emotions just
Right.
bundled themselves into an elevator, hit the basement button, went down, and then got a shovel
Yeah.
and digged down even further
Buried it.
until they met the
Yeah.
ancient creatures of the underworld. I mean, so I was never really a big angry outburst person, because
Yeah.
my upbringing just taught me just to like
Mm.
squash that right down,
Yeah.
which
Well, I
is
was the same,
ugh.
really. I was like taught to. I was taught the best way to deal with it was to suppress it. But in the end, as you probably know, in the end, that just makes you more and more frustrated. It's like you become like a, you're ready. Oh my God, Paul, he's ready to blow.
It
But
all has to
it's
come
like
out. It has to come out
it's, it's,
somewhere.
it's somewhere. It's got to come out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one way or
yeah.
another, it's gonna get you.
Suppression's not
It's
good.
gonna get you. It's gonna get you. One way
Also
or
because it
another.
just wasn't invited. It's like I was seen as a troublemaker. So,
You
oh
rebel,
God,
you
Paul,
Paul.
why? Yeah. And at work, I was called a loose cannon. Anyway, that's another story.
Mm,
Um, yeah,
I remember
but
that.
I don't know. I think my ideas and my thoughts suppressed. And today, it's like if something that triggers me really easily is someone. Um, if I feel like my ideas or my thoughts aren't kind of welcome, or you know,
Yeah, it it almost like I almost feel like it's part of RSD, rejection sensitivity disorder
hmm
as well. Like you're kind of like sort of waiting, you know, that you can be easily triggered by that, right, of by feeling defensive, or someone saying something to you, and then your
hmm
emotional dysregulation kicks in, um,
yeah,
and you kind of like overblow the whole thing. I am
yeah,
better about being more annoyed now, rather than not being annoyed.
right,
Oh, rather, no. I mean, I'm better at being annoyed now rather than suppressing being annoyed,
Mm.
at least.
Then then what comes into it is actually how you let it out. You know, If it's
Oh yeah, no, because part of that is like uh, what they call arousal reduction. So that's like,
all right.
um, what do you do? What do you do to kind of like try and
Mm,
to kind of reduce that down? So one thing that I find that I do, if I start to get angry, I will go and start to clean something. I will like, oh, clean.
really?
I'm gonna start cleaning the kitchen, or I'm gonna start vacuuming
Right.
something, or like something
Right.
physical. I think it's a
Right. I used to dig
physical
holes.
thing. There we go. It's a physical
Yeah.
action, right? So you have to kind of go. It has to
Yeah.
come out somewhere. So you'll go and pick up a
Yeah.
shovel and dig a hole.
Or go and punch a policeman. That's not a good idea.
No, no, we don't
A random, go
condone.
and punch a random person.
No, we don't.
I actually,
We
I
don't do
did actually punch a random person. I was at
what.
school and I was having a really bad day because I'd had a really bad evening the night before, and I was just like a bear in a cage.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at school, and I was just I was just like a seething kind of like mess of like oozing anger and stuff. I was queued up for lunch, and someone behind me
Yeah.
like kicked my bag. Apparently, the queue had moved forward, and someone had kicked my
All
bag
right.
from behind. And like,
All right.
and I turned around and hit the person that kicked my bag.
Blimey.
It turned out to be my best mate.
Oh Jesus. Come on.
Yeah, right.
God.
So he hit me back, and we just laughed. All right, carry on. Nothing to see here. Carry on.
Oh blimey.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
good lord.
But can your frustration or anger, how long can that last? Because for me, I can go. I'm much better at it now, much better. But in my past, for me, it could go on for days. If there's like
Yeah.
an issue at work or in my personal life, I could be in like a mess of like a oozing
Yeah.
anger
S-
and just like pent up aggression for like days.
Yeah. I think, honestly, I think there's stuff I'm still angry about 30 years ago.
Right.
Like like I was in a car park, where we used to work at the Redland, right? And there was this staff car park, and I'm parked there in my
Right.
car waiting. I don't know what I'm doing there. I'm just sitting there, and then there's a
Right.
guy in the who's parked next to me. He gets in his car and he pulls
Yeah.
out. But as he's pulling out and he curves around, he just runs his bumper down the side of my car. So he's
Right.
as he pulls out, and I'm like, and I get out. I'm like,
Right.
what are you doing, mate? You just and he's like, I didn't do that, and 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 then he just drove off, and I'm like, what an arsehole. And
Yeah.
and
Sorry about
there's
that, Marty. That was me, I think. Probably.
fuck it, I should have just
Yeah.
punched you. I should just punched you then and there. I just
She's still
clocked you.
angry about it now.
There is still like one brain cell who's like seething
Really.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in my head. But on a normal day to day level, I can get really angry, and it can last. I don't know, anything from uh yeah. I mean, it can be like hours, um,
Mm.
and then it just starts to taper down after that. But yeah, it
Right.
can be days, days of
Yeah.
being, of kind of like working through that, processing that, and
Mm.
getting back to normal can be a long
Yeah.
time.
Or working through
And
it. For
then
me,
in
sometimes working through it would be an end ridiculous confusion of just not being able to work out the situation. Like in my mind, I imagine a normal person would
mind,
just like pick the logic out of it and just carry on. For me, I just like I don't get it. I just total confusion and frustration and kind of like
Hmm.
disbelieving.
Right. Do you do you think that that's like a little bit part of of an an autism thing where, like me, you kind of just don't understand what went on.
Mm,
You just like you
right.
just it's
Well, that's
just like
Asperger's, isn't it?
same thing, yeah, yeah. It's just
Because they don't. You're not supposed to use that expression anymore, but it's just lumped into autism. But Asperger's is the inability to recognize situations, you know,
right,
um,
yeah. So
and
just
and manage them in a normal way.
yeah. So just for clarity, Asperger's is the old name of which autism is now the new. It's now been lumped into
Yeah,
autism. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's yeah. No, I mean, like I feel that as I've got older, I'm less like I understand more of myself and other people, and I kind of less things trigger my emotional
Mm,
dis
mm.
dysregularity
I think I
now.
gave up trying to understand a lot of people. It's just like because it was exhausting. You know,
Oh yeah,
and a lot of time it's a total waste of total waste of energy. It wasn't like, oh, that was a good use of my energy, being like a seething froth for for 3 weeks.
yeah.
Am I breaking up?
Oh yeah, terribly. I'm just like,
Really?
which is why I've kind of got the really odd reactions. It's just like I don't know where I am in
Right.
this conversation. I'm
Jesus.
wondering
Okay.
whether you turn off your video and whether the
Right.
audio gets better. I don't know. I was just gonna bring us back because I know that that we didn't kind of get that bit, so I just want to bring us back around to the whole
Hmm.
fight or flight
Yeah.
response thing because um, the 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 well let's talk about the brain for a second. So um, what happens with emotional dysregulation is that you've got the part of the brain called the amygdala, which is like really um, early, the dinosaur brain, if you like, and that's where the fight or flight part
Hmm.
lives, and that part of the brain um, it reacts to and it processes the external st- stuff. So, like if someone's
Hmm.
talking to you, it that's what it pays attention to, and then
Yeah.
it decides what it should do. So that's
Hmm.
so when you're talking about fight or flight, that
Hmm.
kicks in. That's where the
Yeah.
flight comes from.
Yeah.
That's the kind of that's your
Hmm.
pterodactyl brain, and then you go and
Right.
flap off.
Okay. Yeah. It's interesting. While you're saying that, it's interesting. Like for years, that would I was this would happen quite often. Well, almost exclusively in personal situations with a girlfriend or something, and there's there's some conflict. The instinct for me to get out of that location and go into a safe space or to go
Hmm.
anywhere else other than there was really strong.
Yeah.
The diagnosis for ADHD really helps with it. Oh, okay. It's like, okay, it kind of all makes sense now, you know?
Right. Which is kind of
Again,
fine.
like, chase it off at the pass.
Right. At least it kind of helps to know that, so that at least you can either explain it
Yeah,
before, or you can kind of go into
right.
your head and kind of go, "Oh,
Yeah,
I really want to get out. I know why I want to get out, but perhaps I should
yeah,
stay here and hash it out," kind of
right.
thing.
Or you could just be
Or
really. say, look, usually in this situation, or you could say, to be honest, I have this really, really, really strong instinct to, to just run away.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's not
Run
a good
away,
thing.
run
Run
away.
away.
What's
But,
what's up?
like you'd be really transparent about it. Run away.
Right. Or, or you can say, look, I need to leave this situation for a couple of
Yeah,
minutes. I just need to kind of go into
yeah,
another room, collect myself,
yeah.
and then I
Totally.
am interested in resolving this. I'll come back.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll come back
It's
in a couple of minutes.
because usually the response was, holy shit, if you can't deal with this, why would I get into a relationship with someone that takes flight every time something difficult happens?
Right.
It's not good. Or they
Yeah.
just feel abandoned. This like abandoned,
Right.
which is not what it's about.
No. No. But at least if you know it, you can form strategies around it, and then
Yeah,
you can hopefully make
yeah,
things a bit better, right?
yeah. Exactly,
I would say.
exactly.
Oh, I did have a list somewhere
Ooh,
of things that you could do, which I don't have. Crazy. What's going on in my? This is like, this is this is getting more shambolic. Oh, here we go. I have a few things. Ah, here we go. I have a list of things that that we could do to help, as
yes,
we're on the
I've
subject
got a
of.
bit of a list, something similar.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see how we go. I'll start off with one, and then
Mm.
if you have a list, then maybe you do the second one, then and then I'll do the third.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. We'll like
All
ping
right.
pong this.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
So,
Like Olympics.
mm-hmm. Yeah, like a yeah, relay. All right. So the first one I've got is like step back and name those feelings. So it's like when you can feel that dysregulation come and all those feelings start to swell up, it's to kind of go, "Whoop, am I feeling anger? Am I feeling shame? Am I
Mm-hmm.
feeling fear? What is it that I'm
Mm-hmm.
feeling? Like just trying to kind of
Mm-hmm.
like uh, distance yourself slightly, one step out by
Mm-hmm.
kind of going, okay, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. Like just trying to kind of recognize
Yeah.
when those feelings start to kind of surface rather than just
Mm-hmm.
kind of letting them just confuse you. So
Yeah.
that's one.
Mm-hmm.
Step back and name
That's
those
one.
feelings. What you got, Mr.
Step back.
T?
I've I've got distraction.
Oh, yes, very nice.
Sometimes you just need like the simplest of things. Like someone once said, when they kind of like feeling triggered or angered by something, and they're like just want to get really angry, they would break into a song. Yeah.
Oh, which song? Which song? Life
Well,
is loaded shit.
it's a form of jazz. I can't remember what it's
All right.
called.
Always
Very
look
unusual type of
on the
jazz.
bright
The
side of
bright
life.
side of life.
Nice.
It's a type of jazz that he would do like this like I can't remember what it's called. It's got a very specific name, but a very
All
form of
right.
way.
So it's like
He said it works every time.
I can't. Why you stack the dishwasher? Like why do you put the old shibba ba 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 ba
Exactly that.
scooby ba
Exactly
ba
what he would do.
ba ba.
That's got a name. That's what he would do.
Scatting. What is it?
Scatting.
Shibba ba ba
He
ba
would scat.
shibba ba
He would
ba.
scat.
Well,
He
I'm
said
gonna.
that's what he'd do. He would scat
Well,
to distract himself
I
from
think that would just
reacting in the normal
confuse
way.
my wife, to be honest. Be like, what the hell are you doing?
Okay.
She would be putting on a show right in the middle of an argument.
Right. Okay. So,
Uh,
so
oh,
I've heard other people say they would just go and clean their teeth.
yeah. I mean, I said that I like to go and clean
Hmm.
Exercise is a popular one? Like you just kind of go, right, I've just got to go for a run, or I've just got to, you know,
Mm.
go swimming or something, just to kind of like
Yeah.
physical. Dig a hole, Mr. Thompson. Dig a hole.
Dig a hole. That has happened. I
Yeah.
found myself a big one, and then started thinking, "Oh, right, yeah, there's a pattern here,
Mm-hmm.
and garden full of holes."
Yeah, like your
Even my
neighbour
neighbours, I had to
can just
I
look
had to move
over
into
the
my
fence
neighbour's
and go.
garden in the end.
It's like, man, Paul's going through a
Yeah.
tough time. Here we go. Here you go, mate.
Yeah.
Look, go and
Yeah.
have at it on me lawn.
And so, have you got? I'm passing the
I've
baton.
got one. Passing the baton. Uh, identify. Yeah, because I'll just say it. Identify sort of signs physically. So sometimes
Okay.
it's especially if you're a little bit on the autistic side, you may not necessarily recognize when you start feeling like all of this stuff's
Mm,
happening. Like, so uh, I can tell that. So if I start hard staring the person, I mean,
mm.
like when you're like
Right.
in an argument, you're just
Paddington
like
Bear.
doing a hard stare.
Yeah.
Um,
Paddington Bear used to do
I,
that with his
yeah,
neighbour.
giving someone a hard stare. So
Yeah.
if I find myself giving a hard stare to someone, I go, oh, hang on, I'm starting here. I mean, you might also like start to feel agitated,
Mm,
and and you notice that you're,
mm.
that you start, sort of stimming, your legs
Right.
start bouncing more, or
Mm,
or you start fiddling with things more. Like you just kind of get,
mm.
um, you might stop picking your eyebrows or whatever. So just kind of like looking for physical sign. If you
Yeah.
notice that you're starting to do these things, that could be a sign that you're starting to have that you're starting to dysregulate.
Yeah. Okay.
Passing the baton.
Okay. Yes, I've got here avoiding places that provoke. Avoid people. Avoid places and people that might provoke you.
Oh, yes.
If I can avoid, um, I've said this so many times in our podcast, but if I can avoid, like a really big pizza restaurant that's just got a low ceiling and it's just gonna drive me insane. I'll
Right.
I've started telling people, look, I can survive this for about an hour, and then I have to
Mm-hmm.
just get out because
Right,
it
right,
just
right.
really drives me insane. Yeah,
Avoiding people and situations that trigger you. Right.
yeah. Oh, let's be honest. We've all had friends that at some
I
point you
had
think,
friends once.
hmm, did you?
I lost them a long time ago.
This friendship is a bit shit.
This
I
is
think
shit.
I'm just going to next time they say, "Oh, do you want to come to the pub and have a drink?" You say, "Oh, sorry, I need to sort out my sock drawer."
Mm-hmm. I know.
Think I'm not very good at getting out of situations. Some people are really deft in terms of like maneuvering
All right.
delicately out of situations, either verbally or any other way. I'm not good at it.
Oh, I know what you mean. You just
Small talk.
trapped. You don't know how to get out
Like,
of some stupid dumbass conversation with someone. Then you get in that, and
yeah.
you just. "Ugh, how do I
You
get
say,
out of
"Oh,
this?"
I'm sorry, I've got terrible diarrhea this evening. I need to go to the toilet."
Oh, I'm sorry, but my leg seems to have fallen off. It's it's just, yeah. That's
Once,
like social skills, right? That's part of the social
yeah,
skills thing that sometimes we have trouble learning. But
tried to get out of a really boring conversation, and I said, "I've got a really bad migraine." I'm going home. But I did it in a really bad way. It was really obvious to everyone that I just made it up.
What does that sound like?
It's like, I've got a migraine. Bye.
My, oh hey, whoa, I've got
Bye.
a migraine. Yes,
I've got
yes, I
such a
do.
bad
Oh right.
migraine. I
Well, I'm
think I'm
just
going to
gonna.
have to lie down in a dark room.
Yeah, if I don't leave now, I'm gonna punch you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Anyway, anything else on your list, Martin?
I, are you
Passing
gonna?
back the baton.
Oh, you're gonna pass the baton. Um, I have. Well, it's kind of like r- r- uh, write it out. Now, this is something that I don't do, and I have trouble wrapping my head around doing it. But
Right out. Nice.
if you journal your
Mm,
feelings,
brilliant.
that's helpful. It's helpful to get it out
Right.
and to understand
Yeah.
them, to write it out. I
Mm,
don't do that, um, but I know that it's people do, and they find it very helpful.
yeah.
Also, you know that thing. I think it falls into the same category of, and I do this. I will write out my angry email or my angry text and
Mm,
then not send it. So
right.
I'll write it
I've
out.
done that. No, it's a good one. It's a good one, Martin.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, I've also got do your. I think this is somewhat connected with doing a distraction. So maybe it's just part of that. But it's like do your special
Mm.
interest thing.
That yesterday I was doing my sculpture and I
Yes.
got interruption rage.
Oh, I can imagine.
And I caught myself. And it was only my girlfriend who was really sweetly asking, what would you like for lunch? I was like, "Ugh."
And then one that wasn't
Uh,
on anyone's list that I could see, which I felt like was worthy of pointing out, was to after the whole thing, is there something that you could learn from that? Was so it is about
mm,
kind of once you've gone through the whole thing and you've kind of calmed back down, is to look back and kind of go, right, is there anything to learn here? You know, was there a
uh-huh.
trigger? Was there something that I could have done better? Was it the environment I was in? Did I put myself into a situation? You know, had I eaten? Had I not had
Mm,
enough water, food? I mean, you know, it's just kind of like, was there something that made that worse, and or was there
mm,
something that really helped? You know, like oh, I should pat myself on the back because I recognized what I was doing, and then I stopped myself
mm,
and I went, oh,
yeah.
sorry, yeah, I'm just this is just interruption rage or whatever, right? Um, and then you catch yourself, and then you should give yourself a pat on the back. Yeah. All right. Do we have anything else to
Okay.
add before we go to the post office?
No?
No. All right. Well, let's jump in the car and we'll head to the post office. I'm just
Yep.
going to
Jump.
jump in here. So yeah. So if you so get involved in the comments and we will read them out. So I have one that was on TikTok. This is Rachel Hartman 621. She says your content is wonderful. Always watch or
Oh, nice.
save it for later as I feel I have no time. I always get to it. You are
Nice.
you are with a heart emoji. There we go.
Who's that?
Rachel Hartman 621.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Rachel.
All right. So this is a comment from Lee from Dundee. She says, thank you for sharing stuff that I thought only happened to me, e.g., feeling safe in your sadness or sabotage when you're happy. It's anxiety provoking because it's bloody uncomfortable and new.
Right.
You two are
Yeah.
superb. I look
Oh,
forward
it's
to
nice.
watching every episode every Tuesday. It's a proper routine for me now. See you again next week, and thank you.
Nice. That's brilliant.
There you go.
Yeah. I must admit, when I first, it's actually before I had ADHD diagnosis, and I suddenly realized that I self sabotaged. It was, it was, I was destroyed.
Mm,
Like realizations like, fuck me, I've got this terrible pattern of self sabotage. It was really upsetting. Anyhow, moving
yeah.
on.
Anyway, so let's get back into the car because we're going to go back to the um, town hall where
Yes.
we can bestow some honours a
Oh,
on a citizen of ADHDville who we believe deserves deserves recognition. That's the word I'm looking for. All right, let's go. Right, so back in the town hall, Paul. So as you know, if you listen to this podcast, you're part of ADHDville. But then there are some people who are very active, and we should recognize them, right?
yes.
So
Yes.
so
They're like ambassadors.
yeah.
They're really important.
So I believe it's part of our mayor's duty so that we can bestow keys of the city. So keys of ADHDville, and this week we are going to bestow it, bestow it on. I'm 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 loving
Bestow-wise.
how much of a hash I'm making of this. Um, we're gonna Paul and I are gonna bestow the keys of ADHDville to Lee of
Lovely.
Dundee, um,
Lovely.
for watching our show, for commenting, being a lovely human being on her own journey. Um, so congratulations to you. You are our first. What do we? Anyway, you're special.
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 Okay. Maybe we should we'll have her on sometime for a guest special,
Oh,
guest appearance.
there we go. So yeah, Lee,
That'd
if
be
you're
nice.
up for it, get in the
Yeah.
comments. And we'll sort that out.
And
All right.
move on to the last part of the.
Yeah, if you could, because I'm just trying to pull up the flipping script.
Oh, okay, I've got it. Yeah. So please subscribe to the pod. Rate us most magnificent.
Thank you.
Or mostly magnificent, and feel free to correspond at will in the comments. Is an exclamation mark.
Mm-hmm.
Sally forth to the YouTubes and the TikToks.
Nice.
In the meantime, Martin's got his message for you.
Just be fucking kind to yourself. There's the music to save us. Shh. All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
There, says the mayor. That's that.